pleasure to sit here with the Beyonce of comedy.
Well, I mean, the pleasure is mine. The Beyonce of news. I think the pleasure is all mine.
Jason Goliath, thank you so much for your time on this, what will be a Sunday evening when our viewers get to see this interview. I always see you on stage. My stomach is always hurting when I'm seeing you on stage, which in your line of work is a good thing.
That is a good thing. That is a good thing. In a chef's line of work, not so much. But in my line, a stomach cramp is a thumbs up. That's a good thing. I don't know why I'm nervous.
Don't be. This is just ignore the cameras. Just ignore the five cameras.
No, the cameras don't scare me. You do. I'm not worried about them. These guys I'm used to. You are the one that scares me.
I
you
promise.
Also seem to have a lot of notes there.
There's nothing contained in here that you don't already know, or I hope so.
Let's see.
So let's begin with the story of Jason Goliath and his foray into comedy. Where does that trace back to? How far back does that go? So,
I mean, it goes pretty far back, but not as far back in my life, I think, as many think. So I only started comedy when I was 30, which is odd in the space of comedy, because most comedians kind of know very young that they want to pursue comedy, or at least the arts, and had started, between the ages of kind of 18 and 22. So I was 10 years late at the start, but I started with 10 years life experience, which I think was a massive advantage in terms of not only helping me catch up in some cases, even, kind of surpass people with that type of experience, because I think that's my favorite part about comedy, and that's why I'm going to do it forever, is because it's alive, and in the sense that as long as I'm alive, there will be content. And the more I know about life, the easier I'll be able to tell the story about that content and convey those messages.
It's institutional knowledge. That's what I would call it in the line of news. In comedy, it gives you just a different perspective, having been through stuff.
Absolutely. Having experienced stuff gives you all of the necessary emotions that go with the stuff. So you'll know when it's appropriate to be angry, when it's appropriate to be happy, and you'll also know what's funny and what's not. And I think that's a big deal, particularly in this time of repercussion. So I always say that comedians of old got away with the fact that if they tested something at a show with 100 people and it didn't work out, it would end there. Yeah. But if we say something untoward, Twitter will pick it up and it will live forever. So yeah, different consequences, but also I think more excitement for the time.
Yeah. So those 10 years before, let's call it 10 years, from 20 to 30, let's say, what was going on there?
Well, you see, as a young man, I was obsessed with money. And like, if anybody asked me as a youngster, what are you going to be when you grow up? My answer was rich. Yeah. That's what I wanted to be. And so those 10 years were me just not pursuing passion at all. I was just trying to pursue the check. So I was always kind of a good salesman, and I studied marketing. And my first major job that I kind of remember as something that took me a space was I was an in-store announcer at a macro, and I did that as a student. I can see it,
the voice.
I know, right? Yeah. And I appreciate that. I could sell you something right now. But I did that as a student, which was great, because it kind of gave me an advantage over all the other students, because I was earning a salary every weekend, and my attitude then was always, we must work. If we want nice things, we must work. So the one thing I've never shied away from is putting in a day's work, because my logic was very simple. If you want more than everybody around you, you've got to do more than everybody around you. And while my friends were spending money in malls on weekends, I was working and making money, which was, for me, a wonderful offset as a young man. And then I started, my first permanent job was marketing manager for the store that I was announcing in. So while I studied, I'd work there, and they got to know me. And
you studied marketing.
And I studied marketing, and when I got a diploma, and then dropped out in my third year from I was studying my IMM. And I was just like, the books are not for me, I'm done. And they were like, look, we'll give you the job anyway. And I was marketing manager of a retail store for a year. I then did a lot of training and facilitation. So I did sales training and sales facilitation for a couple of years, which was fantastic. And sales was always something that was kind of natural for me and easy. And then I opened an insurance brokerage, again, because the money. So I'd started working for an insurance company. And was making some money, and another insurance company offered us a franchise, two of the top performers of the branch that we were at. And we ran an insurance brokerage for 5 years, so from around 2005 to early 2010. and then we went under in spectacular flames.
Oh, really?
We got spectacular, the most movie-style flames, like flames that are still burning today. I still get calls. I'm still scared of private numbers today. You are not the only one scared of private numbers. Even me, I use Truecaller and I don't want to answer things. But it's one of those things that it is what it is, and we do what we have to do. But there were so many lessons, and I think that was the gift. And I think the biggest lesson was that through my 20s was that the only thing money is good for is experiences. We all obsessed with more. We just want more. And what I learned was that the sum in my mind as a young man was always that success or money would equal happiness. And as a 30-year-old that was very broke and had no money and no success, somehow I realized that if this is a mathematical equation and I go success equals happiness, which I think a lot of us kind of do in our lives, depending on what success means to you, I realized that equal sign is bidirectional, so it goes either way. So if success equals happiness, happiness must therefore equal success. And my obsession through my 30s, I'm 39 now, my obsession through my 30s has been happiness, because I suddenly had this realization that the only thing we have is time. Time is what we have, and time is fleeting every day. We don't know how much longer we've got. So my question when I die must be simply, did you have a good time? And if I can't answer that question, then what did I do with my life? If I didn't have a good time because I was spending, because I know many people that retire at 60 and then have said to me, I spent my whole life working for this money, being miserable, and now I'm too tired to spend it because I've let the time go. So, for me, it's always, be where your feet are, be happy where your feet are. And then I realized that if I can achieve the happiness by definition of my own equation, the happiness must therefore equal success. So I think I've never been more successful because I've never been happier, even though that definition of success is a very personal thing.
And I think the journey that you're talking about through your 20s is such an important lesson for young people.
Yes.
We see the matriculants, they're panicky when they finish grade 12. What am I going to do? I need to decide now what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. It's a big ask for them, and that journey just explains, it's not a straight line to where you need to be.
It's not a straight line. So my advice is always, like, to a matriculant, you don't even know who you are yet.
Yeah.
I think I was 25 before I started becoming the man that I am now. And yes, I had good advice. I wanted to study accounting. Because my rich uncle in the family, we've all got that one rich uncle in the family. My rich uncle in the family was an accountant. So because money was the thing I wanted, I was going to study accounting. And then my mother was like, my boy, I've seen your results.
I was going to say, how did you do in maths?
I actually was great at maths. It was, maths was always something that came easy, and accounting was something that I found very natural and easy to do. Easy to do and very, kind of simple to understand.
So you could have gone that route.
I could have, but I wouldn't have made it.
You could have been that rich
because
uncle.
It wasn't. No, but you see, there's a very big difference between studying accounting and getting a B in matric. There's a very, very, you know what I mean? There's a very, very big difference. And what my mom knew was that I wasn't good at studying. You know what I mean? So I'm great. If we chat now, I can receive the information. But I openly speak about the fact that I don't like reading. So I receive all of my information from people that read. So if you read, I'm going to ask you all the questions so that I can vicariously live through you. So studying marketing was a good choice, because the way my mom described it, it was a picnic blanket that I could then build whatever I wanted to off of that. If I needed to study more, it was always going to be a good foundation to kind of direct me in the right. So, I mean, I don't think I've ever thanked her. So thanks, Mom. For that advice, but it worked out.
Everyone